know if the amount of money you saved for retirement is going to last? And what do you do when life throws you an unexpected but very expensive curveball? Well, Ohio's retirement coach Greg Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group has found solutions to just about every dilemma out there. And he joins me this morning for our weekly Q&A. Welcome, Greg.
Well, it's good to be here.
Great to have you back. Now, I know so many people have a number in mind when it comes to retirement, but is it okay to focus on the number, or should we be thinking about it all differently?
Well, a number is okay, except, you have to understand what it is you're trying to achieve. Some people have unrealistic expectations. They think, wow, if I can just save, $500,000, I'll never have to worry about money. Well, if you needed $50,000 a year income off of that, that could be a real problem. So you need to make sure that your number is in line with what you're actually expecting.
Now, let's get to our first question from Joe in West Jefferson. I'm going to read it here. He writes, I'm 56 and have saved $260,000 in my 401k and other investments. How much do I realistically need to save to be able to retire at 65?
Well, that's a big question, because you'll have the ability to take Social Security benefits, and then you decide, do I take them now or if I take them later? But how much do you save? Well, the big question is, how much income are you going to need? Because some people will try to struggle along on Social Security alone. Others, perhaps have a pension that will also help, bring up the income from Social Security. But then some folks need to generate income from their savings. And how much you need to save is really based on how much income you want to generate, and figure in the range of 4 to 5% per year. They're fact at this point, but go from that and take that times what you've saved, and that'll give you a general idea of how much money you need.
All right. Next question. Jean in Mansfield writes, I'm caring for my mom who is in the early stages of dementia. I'm single with no children, and I worry about the possible need for long-term care. Insurance for long-term care. Do you have any other suggestions? And she also notes she has $300,000 in her own savings.
Well, long-term care is a big, big question mark for so many people, and nobody wants to really take ownership of that it could happen to them. It's always going to happen to someone else. But when you're caring for a loved one like a parent, then you all of a sudden realize that this really hits home. And long-term care insurance is a very expensive proposition for many, many families. It's just not affordable. And so one of the things we look at are alternative strategies. You have benefit for long-term care. Some of our income plans we create for people have what we call an ADL doubler. So if you couldn't perform 2 of 6 of your activities of daily living, or ADLs, then there's built-in plans inside that would double that income for up to 5 years. So that's a way that people can also plan for long-term care without necessarily having to buy long-term care insurance.
All right. And finally, we have Larry in Grove City. He writes, I'm 63, my wife is 64, we are eligible to start Social Security benefits, but we are both still working. Should we go ahead and take the money while we can?
A lot of people ask that question, will Social Security be here? Should I just go ahead and take that money? The problem is, if you're still working, if you earn over $15,600, then you're going to have to give Social Security back $1 for every 2 you make above that number. So the other thing to consider is that you're going to get approximately an 8% bump up in your Social Security benefits every year you wait. So why not wait, get the cash flow at a greater amount later, and when you decide to retire, then we can turn on Social Security.
All right. Good advice as always, Greg. Thank you so much. And there's more coming up. Greg knows that for some folks, thinking about retirement is about as scary as a Freddy Krueger mask. So he's sticking around to help take some of the fear out of your retirement plans.